What's up, folks? Here we are, announcing another MMORPG adventure. A little bit about me. I've always loved MMORPGs, particularly this game. I played it on console. I reached the mountaintop, so to speak, with the Maelstrom Arena. Unfortunately, or fortunately, with whatever you'd want to say, we're switching over to PC, which I think this is a healthier community. Both communities are phenomenal, but I just want to add that I've experienced this higher end. I've done raids, I've done a lot of the end game content, just not the most recent stuff. But what I'm hoping to launch is more of an explanation of you understand the broader mechanics of this game, that this is a game, this might be the MMORPG of the next, I don't know, maybe 3-4 years, because it's phenomenal. There are a ton of great reasons to play this game. And one of the biggest things is the community cares about it. You'll see their Twitch channels, all that, where they'll broadcast expansions, not only chapters but DLCs, different things, and they literally are just so indoctrinated. There's a lore, there's reasons to play. Like they give you like a reason to immerse yourself in this community. That a lot of games, even whether they're successful, good games, ESO sets itself apart. Especially if you're looking for more challenging content. The later the content, the more mechanical, the more disciplined, if your control your character is based on, the more reason you have to play, because it gets really group dependent. Really, there's a lot of a threshold where you get a lot of reward the more you play. So let's talk about this game a little bit. If you're looking to immerse yourself in an MMORPG, I know I played WoW, I played a couple other games, I played LOTAR, like Lord of the Rings Online, and there's a lot of background information, lore that really makes you want to play. But this game is huge. You're talking thousands and thousands of pieces of equipment, material, different combinations that you could run. You have head, shoulders, chest, hands, arm, potentially legs, feet. They're literally on top of back barring. The customization's incredible. I know there are going to be metas that you're going to run into, but don't worry about that. Let's just focus on immersing ourselves in this game, because you collect all that, you can worry about that at a later point. There's room for everyone in here. That you could literally play this game in a way that is incredibly completist, where you can experience all of the content, all of the great writing, voice content, actors, and you don't ever have to worry about min-maxing your character. A lot of games aren't like that. If you're worrying about rating at the toppest tier, yeah, there might be groups that are going for leaderboards and all that, but you can complete in this game the highest tier content with as long as you know how to play, you're welcome. I've always experienced that. I know my groups would promote that, and I hope everyone feels welcome to that. And if not, let's put up a group that will achieve that mountaintop, that peak together, because we can get there. It's all mechanical. It doesn't necessarily be a gear driven, like you need the newest tier 12 gear that just came out to beat this. No, this is not that kind of game. It's more of a game driven atmosphere where everyone can kind of get there. Obviously you're going to want the best gear, and there's going to be continuous treadmill of best gear, but yeah, let's not focus on that right now. but yeah. So some early tips. If you're just joining this game, have played any sort of, Skyrim or Oblivion before, this game is different. It's 5 skills. So what you're going to want to focus on is always having, while you're leveling, one of the 3 skills from the 3 skill trees from the class that you selected on your bar, because that way you'll level them. Don't worry about min-maxing. Everything can be reset, whether that's like health, stamina, magicka, or any of your skill trees. Everything is resettable, and it's affordable because you're going to make money as you play, and don't worry about it. Just literally engulf yourself into the quests, enjoy the story, take your time. I hope you find a group of people to play with and not worry about. So many times people breeze through it because they want to be the best or be like this top tier, but you'll get there. But this game is something that just kind of evolves, and you'll kind of get a sense of where it's going. That being said, if you plan on being a magic-based character, for the most part, the current meta, I say that with a loose terminology, but if you want to be magic-based, you need to understand how stats skilled. And I say magic-based, but it means stamina-based too. So if you're going to play a magic-based character, you need to understand when you put attribute points into magicka, that scales to your magic staffs. So your damage dealing staffs, your fire, lightning, and I'm only skipping over because fire, lightning are the 2 biggies, right? Healing staffs are kind of a back bar type of thing, but you're a damage dealer. Magic, lightning, magic scales to deal that damage. Stamina, you're looking at everything from daggers, swords, axes, two-handed swords. Dual wield. That's what stamina skills. Bows, that's the other big one. So if you're planning on being a sorcerer that's going to use a bow, if you want your bow to do actual damage eventually, you need to realize that's going to be a stamina-based thing. That's going to depend on stamina-based gear. That's going to depend on that kind of category. But again, if you're playing this game, don't worry about it right away. You really do not have to worry about it until you're playing 40 hours into the game and looking into groups. And even then, if you're doing regular veteran content, you're only going to bump into a wall when you're hitting DLC, downloadable content, or certain second tier dungeons or something. So literally, if you have a question, post, whatever, we'll work through it. It's not that hard. I also have always ran into the concept. You get this min-max mentality. If you're like me and you're worried about games and you want to be the best possible ceiling that you can be, but you need to realize in this game the ceiling literally is the top 0.01%. Racial passives. Each class offers a racial passive. One of the biggest familiarity I have to it is the Stam Blade, the Stamina Nightblade, and the Magicka Sorcerer. So there's an argument Magicka Sorcerer between the High Elves of the Outmarried Dominion and the Dark Elves of the Ebonheart Pact. Dark Elf modifies like fire damage, other thing. High elf is like magic. I'm just going off the top of my head. That sort of racial passive for the probably 99% of players means nothing. Like, you're talking, if you have X amount of gear that is the best possible gear at the best possible patch time at the best possible chapter, your race will then determine a fight between two players. Odds are, one, when there's a fight that people are that maxed out, skill is going to control the outcome versus race. Two, if race is ever involved, gear is probably going to supersede that, because it's going to take that much more time to get the max gear, to optimize it to gold tier. So I just would say, if you're playing this game, race does matter, because if you're ever doing Cyrodiil, you're going to get locked into a race. So if you're playing with friends, pick a race that you're with, that you could all be together. You can always remake a character, but don't worry about, like, I would highly recommend the any alliance race package that they offer, because, you know, if you're good, you're going to beat somebody anyhow, because skill will supersede anything. But yeah, it's just, having played hundreds of hours in this game, what I would say. Another thing, if you're able to invest in bank space, I don't know, I'm not going to push like subscribing and all that, but obviously if you're going to be serious about this game, you will. But just stockpile gear, especially CP 160 gear. CP 160 is the gear level threshold that, you can bank deposit gear and move it between characters regardless of race. It's all account based. Especially the good gear. Like, there's certain set that are the number one. There's different tiers. So there's going to be your trial based gear. The trials are usually 12-person trials or whatever, that's going to be the highest tier, but there's going to be 5-person dungeons. There's going to be dungeon raid tier, or sets that only drop in certain things that you need to just stockpile and hold them, because there's certain pieces are going to be more valuable than others. And I would recommend, and we'll talk about it more on some later videos, but just know that. But don't worry about it right off, but just be aware that there are certain sets that are better than others, and you'll start to get a picture of it eventually. Lastly, I would recommend, if you're playing obviously this way on PC, if you're understanding of add-ons, look for lore book add-ons, delve add-ons, delves being just places where there are sky shards. Other words, sky shard add-ons, like each region has a set amount of sky shards. Every 3 sky shards, you get a skill point. You're going to want to capitalize on that. Every time you're in a zone, you want to maximize the amount of sky shards and lore books you get, especially until you get, if you're magic based, you want those lore books, because it'll get you 10 out of 10 in the Magic Guild, the Sorcerer's Guild, whatever. Because 10 at level 10 there gives you skills and an ultimate ability that you're really going to want. I'm just recommending, I don't want to really ruin the immersive experience, because really when you're just starting, or like, the voice acting in this game is amazing. The writing of the plots and the stories are amazing, and that's really where a lot of the fun is. So we'll do some more about some other things, but I appreciate it if you really stuck around, and I hope you enjoyed this. But this is gonna be an adventure. I hope someday you can grow a mustache like this, but it is what it is. And hey, I look forward to it. I hope we can grow up for some dungeons and have some great adventures. So cheers, guys.